Final 2, 2. Hand can rest at mat as you lengthen up and over. Hi, my name is Alice and welcome to your 720 challenge. In today's movement session, we're going to be focusing on spinal mobility, and I'm going to bring to you some joyous movements where you'll be moving in all different ways to celebrate how amazing our spines are, as well as how strong and robust they can be. So I hope that this session gives you a newfound sense of confidence and freedom within your movement. You'll need a towel and a mat. Let's get started. So I have a towel here. I actually have two, and I've folded these towels up just to give a little bit of height and a little bit of support with some of the movements. And if you don't want to use the towels, that's okay. Alternatively, you may like to work with a pillow or a bolster. If you do have a sort of foam roller or a bolster, you can also wrap that up in a towel to give you a little bit more cushion. So from here, we're going to actually put the towel aside. We don't need it straight away. We're going to come into an all fours position and work through some mobility. So I'm just going to pop my towel to the front and flip around into an all fours position where we want the hands below shoulders, knees below the hips, but don't feel like you have to fret if your hands are a little further forward or a little further back. Same with the knees. Begin by lifting your chest and almost let your belly sink down. This is extension. We follow this movement by rounding the back upwards. Commonly referred to as a cat stretch or cat-cow. I want you to continue gliding through these two positions and really focus on relaxing through your breath. Don't feel like you have to tense as you glide through these two shapes. The goal of today's session is to be quite relaxed in the movements, and I'll give you options and guide you to positions that may be better for you. We have 3 more before we add on a very slight variation. When you're coming through your final rep, I'm going to invite you all to round your back and really nod your chin. Let your shoulders hang forward. Sway your body side to side, letting the hips sort of shimmy from side to side. How does it feel if you tuck your chin a little bit further? Do you feel a little bit more release through the back of your neck? We have 3, last 2, and on your 1, walk your knees apart, anchor your hips down towards your heels, bringing your arms out in front. Here is where you might like to take your towel and rest forehead down. You may even like to rest the top of your head down. Let your elbows sink towards the mat. Take some deep belly breaths. You're going to stay in this position. And when we think about that big breath, let the torso sink between your thighs. Shimmy the hips a little bit side to side, just to create a little bit more relaxed feeling. I want you to stay here for about 10 more counts or 5 big breaths. Start to finish off that last breath cycle. We're going to return to that 4-point position, lifting chest, hips towards your heels, a little rounding of your shoulders. Wave through that start position, sink hips back. My feet are staying together, my knees remain apart. 2 more, round forward, hips back. Last time to come forward, rounding your back. Last time to sink down, hold, then walk hips up, sit onto your heels. I'm going to encourage you or invite you to bring the towel between hips and heels. arms forward, scissor, lean, scissor, lean. And your lean might be just dipping your fingertips to floor, or you're going to take it into a bigger opening and press more of your hand into mat, bending the bottom arm. You may like to do this with knees even wider, or potentially take the towel off and just let it rest and see how that feels. And you may not know until you explore both options, so give it a shot and see which one feels better for you. Continue with that flow. There will be an extra layer that we're going to now work through. As your hand goes back to the mat, lift your hips, looking down to your feet or forward. Switch and change. You could do this with the towel still under your feet, which might help bringing the hips away from your feet. We have 3 more like this. As you're coming through your last sides and even yourself up, once you come out of that back bend, arms forward, round. Both hands back, lean, and lift. Let the chin tilt up. Forward, round. As you come back, open as much of your front body as possible. So you might lean back and slowly unravel. Forward, round. Open, lean. I'm feeling a really glorious, it's absolutely glorious stretch through the front of my body, particularly my thighs. Go through another 2. I'm going to take my towel out. Maybe you have as well. And as you go through your last one, hold that back bend. Let the head hang heavy. Lower your hips. Hands forward, lay on your stomach for some swan dive prep. So this is working through full range extension. Legs wide, hands start more forward. You can rest your head to towel, press into hands riser, slowly lower, drooping down. Hands come wider, and this is going to give you a different sensation. It's going to kind of fire up different parts of the back body. I like to gradually walk my hands further down the mat. So kind of each rise of my chest, I might just scoot my hands a smidgen wider. I might take my legs a little bit wider. And I just start to feel kind of a point where there's a little bit of effort to rise up. But each rep, I'm creating a bit more space through the front of my body. The lower back is beautifully designed to extend. So this is nourishing this part of the body. If you find you're not lifting up very far, that's okay. You work to your tolerance level. So for some people, coming up is a gradual process. Everyone's back bend or movement, mobility might be different. And that's also something to celebrate. We are not all made the same, and there is no perfect body or perfect posture. As you roll down, slowly let your body just rest on the pillow. I'm going to turn my head to you, and you might like to do the same. I'm going to take your legs apart and just a little hover of both legs a little lower and lift. You can do this with head up as I am. You can do this with head fully supported on the towel. 3. Last 2. And on your last one, we're going to blend these movements together. So what we're going to do here is think about swaying your hips a little side to side. Towel can stay where it is. We're going to be using it more with the next sequence coming up. But for this first part, we lift chest, lower down, press into the mat, and you're going to sink back to a shell stretch. Watch first if you would like to see it in its full expression. Round, Legs come apart, hips rise, lower to mat. Breathe in, lift chest. You might like to exhale as your hips anchor back. Inhale forward, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale forward and down. Feel free to stay with that breath pattern or move through a breath pattern that works best for you. Complete one more in your own pace. I'm just going to bring myself forward a little bit. And as you come through that last one, enjoy your shell stretch with both hands to one side of your mat. 3, 2, walk hands across to the other side, lengthening and relaxing into it. And then we bring the towel. I'm going to lay on the towel, sort of where my shoulder blades are. And you just adjust yourself a little bit. That includes clothes as well. Hands to head, legs bent open. And just gradually start to explore this shape. And when I say explore, that might mean, okay, I need to scoot up a bit further. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scoot my body up higher so the towel sits a bit lower. This is going to enhance that extension. And it's a similar shape what we did laying down on our stomach, right? We were lifting our chest, looking forward, same thing. We're lifting our chest, we're looking forward. 2 more. I love doing this on a towel cushion, a roller. We're going to build this up slightly, lengthening the legs. Continue with that lengthening over your mat. And an option with hands staying at head, or move the arms in the same direction as the head. So you're sweeping up, over, forward, repeat. This is like a sneaky peek preview of a roll up, which is just a continuation to a seated position past your feet. If you're like, what now? Swing arms forward, curl up, over we go, round. A little pulse feels beautiful. Peel back down. I'm going to get you to continue this movement. I'm just going to swing myself the other way so I don't whack a plant. And if you can't come all the way up, so you're getting a bit stuck, like you're lifting, you're like, ugh, you get stuck, that's okay. Don't worry. Just lift to where you can. All right, the adjustments continue. When you next come up, separate your legs. You might like to open the soles of your feet. And with each pulse, you're trying to reach that little bit further forward. So we sit. As you're rolling back, legs can close. You go up and over. Come forward. If you get a bit stuck, you're like, don't worry. Open, pulse, round your back further. Keep your head tucked. Let's do one more coming down, and you could keep the legs apart if you wish. Curl up. Reach that little bit further each time. And then hold, bring your legs in. You're gonna round your back, hover the feet. Now your toes can still touch. You're gonna hug the knees more to your chest and wrap your hands in front of your shins. You're gonna roll back and just sort of find where that towel is. Roll up. Roll down, roll up. Now I hope you feel like the towel feels like it's too close, like it's limiting your movement, because I want you to start to move the towel away. For me, I'm just gonna nudge it closer to the plant behind me. And it's almost fun, you think, where's that towel? Oh, there it is. So we're doing a variation of rolling back, also known as rolling like a ball. Can you take the towel all the way away? So there's no towel. I want you to teeter on your tailbones, roll back, maybe watch me first. Stretch up, roll up. And if you're like, hold on, that went to 0 to 60 pretty quick. Trust me, you can do it. Round your back. As you're coming off with your feet, your hand's gonna reach forward. You press into the mat and sweep your legs up. The key is to stay rounded as much as you can. So almost hide your chin to chest. And your head doesn't have to come all the way down to the mat either. So when I reach my feet up, I'm just resting on my ponytail. The pressure, I'm pushing into my shoulders. I press into my hands and I reach. Let's continue. Let's have some fun with this. 2 more. Whee! Last one. Roll up. Take towel to the back of your hips. And I like to scoot a little more down. You're going to roll all the way over your mat. Oh, it feels so comfortable. Lift your hips slightly and adjust the towel so you feel like the towel is sitting more onto the top of your sacrum, kind of at the top part of your glutes. There should be a nice wide open position on your hips. Let your arms rest by side, palms up or down. Take one knee and bring that knee a little more forward than what you think. Then take the next foot up. Lengthen your legs. Start to slowly lower one leg down and the other leg you're going to gently draw closer to you. You're going to start to switch and change. Some of you may know this movement. It's kind of pulls out from a few different parts of our Pilates repertoire. Sometimes those inverted positions you see in yoga. You may like to slide the hand up further and bend the arms. So bring it in and give it a little bend, or keep the head and shoulders down. 3. Final 2. And just so we're equal and even, you'll take your legs and bend them. If you want the feet down, please take them all the way down. So you could bring them down, have a moment, then bring them back up. Find a little bit of a higher position of those bent legs and you just do a soft sway from side to side. Now this is going to depend on what you're resting on. So you almost want to get to the edges of your support. Lengthen the legs out and do the same pendulum sweep. Now I'm not going to go very far because I'll kind of fall off my towel, which is what the whole point of this movement is. Let's see if you can tilt a little bit, just be on that slight balance. 3 plus 2. And as you glide through your last one, sweep the feet back down to the mat. Let your feet come apart, knees splay open. Your resting hands to hips if you wish, or to wherever is comfortable. Take a big breath, relax. Wiggle your toes and feel them connect. And then start to slowly sweep the legs together and close and open. Opening the legs and closing like butterfly wings. We have 5. The itchy eye. Here, as you close the legs, you might like to feel this internal pull of connection. As we're moving through these last repetitions, we're going to articulate further into some hip rolls. Feet return to the mat. And we're going to walk the feet out a little bit wider. I can just feel the edges of the mat with my toes. The hips will slide up, and this is where I'm going to take the cushion out. Oh, hello, towel. You're doing all right so far. Let's bring the hips down, bone by bone. Connect all the fabric of your gym pants to the mat. Feet could come in slightly closer if that feels better for you. And you want to be really smooth on the down and up phase here. And your version of smooth might be a little different, like smooth sometimes it's clunky, and that's all right. And I want you to hold and just take your hands sort of underneath your hips. So you can have fingertips pointing in, but I like thumbs pointing in. And just see if you can lift your hips a little bit further. Rise your heels off and peel your heels down. Heels rise up, heels lower. Keeping that bridge position. 3. When your heels next lower down, start to peel back to your mat. Lengthen one leg and just take the opposite thigh over. Have a little bit of a stretch. Across we go to the other side. Come back and hug. Feet down, hands to floor. Come into your sort of bridge position. So a different variation of bridge. So feet on floor, hands on mat. Breathing up. Lift. Peel down. Repeat. Lift. 4. 3. Head can swing back. Head can peel back. 1 more. Lower. Spin to face me. Come on up to a bit of a kneeling position. Have your towel close by. Now we're going to go into a mermaid. So if you need to re-roll your towel a bit, go for it. Otherwise it should be fine as it is. Mine's been squished. I'm going to take a seat. One leg will be turned up. The other leg's turned down. And you want to support the leg that's turned down. So you might just need to scoot your towel around a little bit more. All right, sort of let the hips open, sink. Side bend. Hand can rest at mat as you lengthen up and over. Your other hand might like to sweep across the body. Continue mermaid and lengthen that bent leg out. Make adjustments as you need. Now we're going to go into another extension here. But if you'd like to stay with this movement, that's also fine. You're going to bring the hips up and you're going to bring the hips more forward. Hips lower, side bend. The towel can create a bit more space or a sensation of space through your hip, but you're welcome to move the towel if you wish. Last one to go over to your leg. Last time to lift your hips up. Lower down. So nice to move. And then just take a moment here and just walk your hands further forward. Sort of rock a little side to side. 3, 2, and 1. We get ready to switch sides. So both sides of our bodies tend to be different. They will give us a different perception of sensation. For me, I feel like this hip feels tighter. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is tighter, but what the towel can do is create sort of that feeling, that lengthening feeling. So if I adjust my towel a little bit more underneath that hip, I feel like it's a little more supported. And who doesn't want more support in this world? Leg unravels. And with each adjustment of the movement, you might find you're adjusting your towel as well. It's here that we invite the hips to rise away from the towel. So at any time you want to stay here, move the towel, you can. When you move away from the leg, you're going to bring those hips up. Hand supports, roll into your foot. Repeat. Lift, rise, lower. And just notice how this side can feel versus the other side. Let's go for maybe 1 to 2 more. I'm gonna do 1 more rise. And as you roll down, bring the soles of your feet together. As you roll down, keep the leg lengthened and just walk out a little bit. Bring the soles of feet together. And then our last movement, we're going to be laying on our stomach, going through a movement that's called rocking in the Pilates world. Unravel your towels, or towel, just a little bit more. I've really done a number with my towels, haven't I? Look at this. All right, so just a little bit more cushion. Now you want the towel kind of sort of on the hips. This can just give you a little bit more comfort. I like it kind of underneath my belly button a bit more. Take both legs and bend and just hold that. Walk the knees out a little further. Take any hand and bring it to the matching foot. And then you're gonna push foot into hand. Lift and lowering the chest. As you push foot into hand, you rise the chest. Next side. As you push into the foot, you look forward. Use this time to adjust the towel a little bit. This is such a beautiful movement to open, but it can feel a bit restricted, or it can create a bit of fear in some people as well. So my tip is, don't be fearful. Relax, avoid holding your breath, and avoid trying to tense muscles. That's not the aim here. Relax your head, bring both feet in, take a deep breath in, rise, and lower. Take a deep breath in, rise, and lower. Just gonna repeat that again. All right, so I'm gonna take hand to foot, I'm gonna rise up, and roll down. Rise up, and roll. So if you feel a little restricted here, my tip is just to relax. Try not to be really tense or try to brace your core necessarily. This is about opening up the front body, finding a beautiful stretch to that front body. I hang on to this foot, I take both feet, I take a breath in, look forward, and repeat. Oh, I can barely breathe. Take a breath in, rise, and breathe out. You want to push your feet into hands. That's what's going to give you lift. It's like you're kicking your feet down. Rise up, draw shoulders back. Let's do 1 more here, and you might like to hold it. See if you can open up a little further, and then softly release. Counter stretch through your shell stretch. Or you might like to child's pose, head down, arms rest by your side. I want you to be present here, but also not present. You can let your mind wander, focusing on your breath. Stay in this position. 10 seconds. Holding onto softness, rocking from side to side. As you're ready to unwind, hands can come forward. And just let your body roll up. Take your time to journey back up. Ooh. Fix what needs to be fixed. Thank you for joining me in our movement session.